tonight rather than being here, but you guys are here, so we're going to stretch it out. We're going to predominantly work on the upper body today, so a good bit of focus through the spine, through the shoulders, lats, triceps and all that. So you guys can just join me here. We're just going to start with a cross-legged seated position, and you're just going to take a couple of big deep breaths here. So just going to connect with that breath to start. So as we're breathing, trying to extend that breath all the way down into the belly, not just into the chest. Perfect. From there, we're just going to bring our right ear to our right shoulder. Just bring that ear towards the shoulder. Just relax here. Then we're gently going to roll our chin to the shoulder, down towards the floor, and we're going to roll it halfway across till we meet the other shoulder. Once we're there, we're just going to hang out here for a moment. Good. We're going to go for that half circle again, so chin down. Bringing your ear to your right shoulder, and this time you're going to take your left hand and you're going to place your left hand out onto the floor, so just stretch out to the side. We lost Amy, she must have lost her internet. Good, you can bring that hand back in. We're going to go for that half circle again. Over to the left shoulder, and then once we get there, you're taking that right arm out to the side. Just going to bring that hand back in. We're just going to bring the head back to neutral, and then from there, we're just going to look up to the ceiling, keeping those shoulders relaxed. We're going to come back to the center and then back down. Come back up one more time. And slowly back down to the floor. Perfect. We're just going to bring that head back to neutral. Amy, your back, was your internet gone? We're just going to reach both arms up overhead. As we're here, take a couple of big deep breaths. Try not to flare that rib cage. Try to think someone's pulling those arms as close to your ears as you can, and you're just creating a little bit of length through that thoracic spine. What we're going to do is we're going to turn our palms to reach the front. And what we're going to do is we're going to bend our elbows out to the side. Try to think about pinching your shoulder blades together at the back into a cactus position, and then we're going to press back up again. So inhale. As we exhale, we're going to go into that cactus again. Bend those elbows. Good. We're going to come back up one more time. And what we're going to do, go back into that cactus, stop halfway. And once we're here, we're going to twist our whole body around to the right. Keep grounding both hips into the floor. Take a couple of big deep breaths when you're here, so those elbows should be about shoulder height. Good, come back to the center. Just check those elbows are in line with the shoulder, and we're going to rotate around the opposite way. So rather than letting our body sink down, we're staying up nice and tall. Once you're there, guys, couple of big deep breaths into that thoracic, into the rib cage. And this is a challenging one to do. You're going to come back to center, sorry. First, you can release the hands down, and then you're just going to crawl forward and meet me on all fours. So on all fours, hands are shoulder distance apart, your knees are directly under the hips. Find your neutral spine, and you're just going to go for 5 big circles. So just pushing your body weight forward over those fingertips, coming back towards the heels. We're going to go 5 in each direction, just taking your time, warming up those wrists. Back the other way once you've done 5. And once we've done those 5s, just come back to your neutral spine, stop in the center. You're going to take your fingertips and you're going to turn them away from you so they reach towards your knees. And from that position, we're going to try to sit our bum back towards our heels. So keeping the hand planted firmly on the floor, just go back as far as your body allows you. Right, you're going as well, you're back. Good, we're just going to come back, pushing our way forward as we bring our hands back to the center, but this time we're going to swap the back of the hands down onto the mat. So turn your hands the opposite way, and this one can be challenging for most. It can be quite difficult and sore, especially if you're just on a laptop all day long, typing or texting a lot of the time. So just ease yourself into it. If you need to go one at a time, that is okay. Perfect. From there, you're back to normal all 4s with those hands. And what we're going to do is we're just going to arch that low back. We're going to look up to the ceiling. And then we're going to round and push through the hands like we're going into that cat-cow. So push up through the arms nice and strong. We're not going to go back down into that cat or into the cow. We're going to stay where we are and we're going to hover the knees for about 10 seconds. So we're really pushing up and rounding the foot through that upper back in 3, 2, 1. Let's hover the knees. We're just engaging that core. So hold it there for 10 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Just drop the knees down. We're going to arch through that back again. So arch the back, look up to the ceiling. And we're just going to move through that one more time. We're going to push away from the floor, round up into that cat position. Once you've got a nice, strong, stable base, we're going to tuck the toes and lift those knees. You have 10 seconds here. So just really activating that core. We're going to get into some balance work here with some lunges in a second. And from there, guys, you're going to push your bum back to your heels, and you're just going to step it up into downward dog. So bum goes up in the air. I want you to really think about pressing through those hands. It is more of an upper body focus today. So try to get that chest through the shoulders. Aoife, I don't know if you're frozen or else you're stuck on. She's gone. Everyone's having internet troubles tonight. Good. From that position, guys, just drop your knees back down towards the floor. Just shake out the wrists for a second. That was a long time up there. We're going to push the bum back to the heels. Let's go back up into that downward dog position again. So trying to push the chest through a little bit more. You may need to bend the knees a little bit, but think about pushing that tailbone up nice and high into the sky. From that position, you're going to come back towards your plank. So push your body weight forwards, and we're going to step our right leg out in front. So our back knee is going to come onto the floor, and we're just going to be into a 90-degree lunge on both sides. So what that looks like, knee, hip, and shoulder, one straight line. Your front leg is out in front, and that foot is just under the knee. So you will in a minute need your band, so just make sure that is near you. And you can either use a couch to support you on one side, or else if you have something like a tall water bottle, you may need it for one of the stretches, you may not, but I'll just advise you before we get into it, all right? So just as we're in this position, I want you to think about tucking your pelvis and squeezing your bum. We're going to start by reaching up overhead, just like we did at the start of the class. Take a couple of big deep breaths here. And then from there, turn your hands so your palm is facing forward, rib cage is pulled down. We're going into that cactus position. Good, we're going to take it back up again. This time as we pull down into that cactus, I really want you to think about pulling your elbows forward and letting those hands fall back behind you without flaring that rib cage, so we're not overarching here. One last time, reach up again. And then we're coming back down again. Good. You can release those arms out. All right, we're going to take our left hand. We're going to place our left hand at the front of our right knee. Our right hand behind us is going to rest on the hip. And And what we're going to do is we're going to push that backhand into the hip as we try to rotate around. Once we get around there, guys, I really want you to take a couple of big deep breaths. You're back with us, Aoife. Your internet gone?
Yeah, I just put it on my mobile now.
Everyone has gone off at least once tonight. I'm next in the line. So you're just going to be in a lunge position, Aoife. Take your right hand, if your right leg is in front, right hand behind your hip, and then your left hand is at the front of the right knee, and just a simple twist. That's it. Good. You're going to release out of that. Aoife, you can stay there for an extra second, so release that front hand. Ladies, we're going to bring the arms back up again. This time we're going to bend both elbows. We're going to pull the elbows while keeping that rib cage down. And what we're going to do is we're going to lean over to the right side. So if your right knee is in front, everyone should be. You're going to lean over to the right. So you're trying to create a little bit of space between the armpit and then the hip. Be sure that you're not pushing your way back. Keep squeezing your bum. Good, and release those hands out of the way. All right, we're going to take your band now. So if you have your band, Aoife, sorry you missed that bit while you were off. So I'm going to take my band, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the band in the left hand. I'm going to place it up overhead. You can see me there. And then I'll use my right hand to pull on that band behind. Now, while I'm pulling, I want to think about rolling that right shoulder back. I'm using my left hand to pull up, and I'm still squeezing that glute here just to get a little bit more of a stretch. Hello, Paulina. How are you? You just need to get a towel or something that you can use to pull, okay? You can join us in a lunge position. So stay in this position, guys. Good, you're going to release that top hand. Release your bottom hand. We're going to scoop the hands back up in front again. And we're going to let them roll all the way behind us. This time we're going to turn the knuckles away from the body and we're going to interlace the fingers. Once we have those fingers interlaced, you're going to roll your shoulders back and you're going to try to lift those hands up. We're going to hold it here. If anyone really struggles to interlace the fingers and pull the shoulders back, you can use your band here as well. And just hold. You all good, Paulina? Yeah. Perfect, you can release out of that, guys. We're going to take our left hand to the floor. So your left hand will be in line with your right foot. And then from this position, we're going to take that right hand and we're going to reach all the way up to the sky. Once we're at the sky, I want you to take a couple of deep breaths here. I'll just show you from the side. So Paulina, right leg is in front, left hand's down. And we're going to keep that right arm up overhead, but your right leg is out in front. I want you to step your right leg all the way back past your left foot. So you're going to a straight leg, and now you're reaching your arm over your head close to your ear. So you have a nice straight line from your fingertips all the way to your toes. Aoife, reach that arm over your head towards your ears. So keep going so your arm rests on your ear. Yeah. And when you're there, guys, try to think about pushing the heel away from the body to create a little bit more length through the hip. Good. From there, we're going to take that right arm, we're going to take it back down to the floor. We end up on all fours again. And I'm just going to let you just shake it out for a minute because there's a lot on the wrists. We're going to go and do the left side. So you can jump down out of that, Amy. She's frozen again. All right, we're going to repeat all of that on the left side. So again, just make sure you have a band or Paulina, a towel, something beside you. All right. So we're just going to start in that lunge position. And once you're in that lunge position, knee, hip, and shoulder at the back are all in a straight line. Tuck the pelvis and squeeze your bum. We're going to start by scooping both hands up overhead. From this position, turn your palms so your palms face forward. And we're just going to bend the elbows into the cactus. We're just going to do this again, Freya. Sorry, I know the other two missed it, but you were here. We're going to reach back up again. And this time as we come down, guys, I want you to think about letting your hands fall behind you and slightly torquing those elbows forwards. So you're getting deeper into the chest. Just hold it here for a minute. Perfect, you can relax those hands. So because we have our left foot in front, we're going to take that left hand behind our hip. Our right hand is going to come over in front of our left knee, and we're just going to go for a simple twist. So I want you to think about inhaling. As you breathe out, you're going to try to push your back hand into that hip and get a little bit more rotation here. So keep squeezing the bum. You're all good, Amy. We're just on the left side with that twist. So left foot in front, left hand behind the hip, and then right hand in front of the knee. Good. From there, you can release both hands. We're going to take our band again. So that band is going to start off in the right hand, which is going to go up and overhead. And your left hand is bent behind you. And what you're going to do is you're going to try to bring those hands nice and close together while trying to get that shoulder pulled back. And you're just going to push and pull one way and the other way to try and create a little bit of a stretch. Now make sure you're not flaring that rib cage. Freya, you look like you are a little bit. I don't know if it's just your jumper. Try pull that rib cage down into your belly button. Squeeze your bum at the back. Two more deep breaths. Perfect. Release that bottom hand. You can release your top hand with the band and let that go. We're going to reach those arms back up overhead. We're going to cross them behind our elbows, so bend them. And from here, we're going to lean to our left. So we're just trying to get as much space between that right elbow and right hip as we can. Keep squeezing your bum. You're lengthening as much as you can. And again, we're breathing into that side body, into the rib cage. Good, and slowly release those arms. We're now going to take that right arm to the floor. So it's going to be in line with your right or your left foot, sorry. Right and left is very confusing. We're going to take that left arm and we're just going to rotate it up towards the ceiling. So straight up from that shoulder, keep looking up. And then from here, we're going to step that left foot all the way back as we reach our left arm up to our ear and straight up overhead. If you can think about pushing through the heel of that straight leg to create a little bit more space, and if it's too much pressure on that right wrist, you can turn your wrist out a little bit more. Good. To get back out of that, guys, take your hand down into that tabletop position. You're on your knees, and all we're going to do is stretch our bum back with our arms straight out in front. We're going to rest our head on the floor, and then we're just going to bring our hands behind us onto our lower back. We're just going to stay here for about 20 to 30 seconds. Just keep working on your breath. And we're just letting that body recover and rest because we did a lot of overstretching there, especially in that thoracic region. And if you're quite tight there, if you're sitting all day long, that can be aggravated quite easily. So as you're breathing, trying to bring that air all the way into the belly. Perfect. You can slowly let yourselves up out of that. All right, for the next bit, guys, we're going to go deep into your lats. And your lats is basically what runs from where the bottom of your armpit all the way down to 3/4 of the way down your back. So it's a really hard place to get at, especially if you're at home. But it's also one that people don't stretch out long enough. And then if your lats get tight, it pulls those shoulders forward. So what you need is a door handle or the edge of the door. So the edge, it doesn't really matter if it's not the handle. It can be something that you're going to be able to pull on that won't move with you. All right, so I'm going to just use the door handle as an example, and maybe you're best off if you have to go, if your door opens this way, you might be better going outside to the other side of it. But I'm going to hold on to the handle, and from here I'm going to have both my shoulders hip distance apart and make sure my feet are even. I'm going to sit my bum back as far as I can, and if my right hand is stretching, I'm going to take that left hand to the right knee, and I'm going to try to look under my armpit. All right, we're going to hold each side for 1:15 seconds here. So it is a long time. So just make sure it's something that you can pull against. So hopefully the door is coming, not the way it's going to open. Maybe you might want to go outside and use the door frame if that's the case. All right. All right, we ready to go, guys? We have 1:15 seconds in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Aoife, I think you need to face the door. So if you face the door as such, yeah, there you go. And then look up to that armpit underneath, yeah. And really push your bum and hips back as far as you can, guys. You'll only feel the benefits of this stretch when we get out of it. Keep breathing into the lats. Try to create a little bit more space through that breath. We have about 20 seconds to go here. Keep pushing the hips back as far as you can. See if you can drop that chest a little bit to get more of a stretch. Perfect. Slowly let your chest come forward to release yourself out of that. And we're going to swap sides. Now with swapping sides, you may need to change your angle and face the opposite way just so you can hold on to that door frame, depending on the door frame or the handle, whichever you are using today, all right? So 1:15 seconds again, opposite arm should be the left hand in 3, 2, 1, off we go. And a good tip is whatever way you're holding, you want your pinky finger at the edge. So don't grab on top, try to turn that pinky finger to the edge so that you're nearly pushing your way to the side as you're pulling back. Breathing into it as much as you can. Twenty seconds to go, guys. I sink that chest down a little bit while pushing the hips back. And slowly let yourself release out of that. So you're going to stay at your wall or your door, whatever you're using, but maybe come back just to have a quick look at me. And this is something that we've done before, but we're just going to finish off with stretching out the chest, okay? So there's 2 different stretches here. We're going to start off with the first one. I'm going to place my arm along the wall. I'll be better going this way to show you. Sorry. So my wrist and my shoulder are in a straight line, and I'm going to step forward with my inside leg. So my left hand is behind, my left foot is coming through. I'm going to try press my shoulder to the wall, and I'm going to hold it here. We're going to hold it for about 40 seconds. We'll release out of it, and then you're going to step your hand up so it's in a diagonal from the shoulder, and we'll do the same thing just to get a little bit higher into the chest area after all your working out yesterday, and all your dips, you're probably sore in that area. So find a spot at the wall. Amy, if you need to go into the hallway, that is okay. So start off with your left hand behind, nice straight road from your shoulder to your wrist. Your left foot stepping in front so that you can get closer to the wall. And we're holding it here for 40 seconds. So make sure your shoulder blade is pulled down your back. You don't have your shoulder hiked up to the ears, and try just relax as best you can. Good, we're slowly going to release out of that, and then we're going to change the arm, so the arm is up slightly higher in that diagonal shape. Now you may not get your chest against the wall or your shoulder against the wall here, that is alright. Just push in as far as you can, and again we're here for another 40 seconds. Good, you can slowly release out of that, guys. We're going to swap over to the other side. So 2 more stretches and then you're done. We're going to take that right hand behind you, straight arm from the wrist to the shoulder. Step your right foot through. Right foot should be the one closest to the wall. Step that through so you can get closer. And we're already started that clock. So Aoife, I want you to take that left hand off the wall if you can. And then when you're there, try to pull your left shoulder around towards me at the camera. There you go, and that's going to get deeper into your chest. Because the other one is just going to stretch behind the back of your shoulder blade. And see if you can maybe move your wrist up slightly higher. Yeah, there you go. 10 seconds to go, everybody. Good, you can slowly release out of that. And we're going to just change the position of the hand. So the hand is going to go up at that diagonal. So from your wrist to your shoulder, step in with that right foot again, stepping it forward and get a nice simple twist there. Good, you can slowly let yourselves out of that. Perfect, guys. That is you lot done for this evening. A nice good stretch on that upper body, but mainly a lot of work into the thoracic. So don't be like worried if you get a little bit sore and stiff in that thoracic over the next day because you're sitting down for so long and then trying to get breath and space into it. It can be challenging. Your body can kind of shut down to kind of protect it and nearly lock it down. So just if you do tighten up over the next day or a couple of hours, just make sure you lie down and just deep breaths into the chest area, all right? Perfect, guys. That is you done for today. I will see anyone that's coming at 7:30 in the morning. See you guys then.
Thanks, Anya.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.